my chest like I'm wearing a crop top. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I could never wife in Opthot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and here we go again, because this week I'm looking at the 2015 British visual novel Sakura Angels, developed by Winged Cloud and released on January 16th, 2015. If you watched my video on Sakura Spirit, then you know the developers made a certain shift in what's included in their games and how far they go, and I said that shift was for the better. Well, that's not here, as we've got a couple more games before that happens, and our journey with this series stops here.
Hell of a ride, but I'm getting off.
But that doesn't mean there wasn't any innovation. They finally added the ability to make choices. You know, that thing that literally any visual novel / dating simulator has? People often wonder what life is like after death. Well, let's see if these angels know the answer and hopefully die along the way as we give it everything we've got. The game opens with the protagonist talking like he was that dude from After. What's his name? Folden, Halitosis? I don't care, that movie is terrible!
You've met Hardin?
Hi, I can't stay away from you.
You need to shut the fuck up!
This melodramatic melon who actually hisses when he sees the sunlight in the morning is named Kenta, and unlike Takahiro before him, he actually has something akin to a personality. His morning walk to school is casually interrupted by a murderous demon, leading to the first choice of the game, and what a choice it is. I actually like the line after he realizes how horrible of an idea it was to punch a demon.
I've made a huge mistake.
He is saved from the clutches of death by his guardian angels, who are, of course, cute anime girls in revealing clothes.
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side! Wait,
The serious one with bright pink hair, which is the biggest styles clash since this man was born,
The gay community.
is Hikari, while the laid-back one, dressed more closely to the color scheme of an angel, is Sayaka. Good to know she found work after finding herself on the wrong end of a kitchen knife. Sayaka tells Kenta that the demon he just encountered is a shadow, a repressed part of the conscious self in physical form, which is adapted from Carl Jung's analytical psychology. Wait. My review of Persona 4 isn't scheduled for at least another 5 months. What gives? Sayaka also says that they have to keep a very close eye on Kenta now that the shadow attacked him in the real world, and since Japan and all within it will literally vanish the second an anime product comes out that doesn't involve schoolgirls in some form or fashion,
Anime is an important part of our culture!
it means Sayaka and Hikari pretend to be transfer students to keep a closer eye on him. Wait. And yes, the characters actually have more than one outfit before the very end of the game this time. And as you may have noticed, their poses can also change now. Oh man, it's like praising a Pokemon game for adding a feature that every other RPG in existence has had for the past 20 years. Alright, the characters have been introduced and the basic plot is set up, gloves are off, it's fan service time!
Boobies.
Strangely enough for this series, this is both plot and plot. It's as close to show don't tell as a visual novel can get, portraying that Sayaka, and by extension probably Hikari, have mad skills. After this, Sayaka thinks Kenta has a confession to make, but he is not her fool, he just has chains of questions to break, and holding her, bringing her to the roof seems to be the best way to get those answers. I'm a sucker for dynamics like the one between Sayaka and Kenta, so I actually enjoyed this scene. It's amazing what can happen when your protagonist has a definable personality beyond densely respectful. Kenta takes Sayaka and Hikari to the rooftop, literally running into some silver-haired girl along the way, and the fact that she got a full character sprite does not at all signify importance to the plot. Actually, Koyomi and the other fuckers from the beginning of Sakura Spirit got full character art, so that joke doesn't really work in the context of this series. But we press on. But before we get to the obvious revelation that she is important, we have another scene between the three that I actually enjoy. Yeah, the dynamics are simple, and they basically took Meiko and Mio and slapped a new casing on them, but god, it's something at least. Also, it's a bit more understandable that they are both in love with Kenta immediately, since they have been watching over him for a long time, even if he only met them today. Oh look! That girl from earlier is important!
Oh my god! Wow!
This is Yuzuki, and I'm pretty sure that's the sound I make when I sneeze. She wants Kenta and easily dispatches the angels, leaving them in a pose that's less than holy. And in my ongoing quest to completely drain my sanity, how is Hikari on the bottom if the text specifically stated that Sayaka went down first? They recover just in time to stun Yuzuki and literally fly off with Kenta, returning to his house where he manages to convince them to leave him alone for the night. And their definition of leave him alone is camp out in his backyard and occupy his bathroom in the morning. They try to make up for it by cooking breakfast, which goes as well as that one time Margaret made pie. Kenta, fully fed up with the storm of shit that comes with the ever-presence of two magical waifus, finally manages to get some space from them, but then decides to sit with Sayaka at lunch anyway, who is clearly going through something. She talks about the terrors of magic school and how much fun she's been having watching over Kenta, then asks him a very important question.
Are you going to finish that croissant?
Because, like me, Sayaka has the envious advantage of being able to suck down any and all food at any time and not suffer any consequences. Their walk home is once again interrupted by Yuzuki, and the angelic ambush only serves the fans as Sayaka's outfit gets shredded in a tastefully PG-13 manner, and Hikari gets wrapped in tentacles very dangerously pushing into M-rated territory. With Sayaka distracted by some demon doggies after magically repairing her outfit, it's up to Kenta to save one of them. And since I don't play favorites and Hikari is clearly in more danger, Kenta picks up Hikari's sword and frees her from the tentacled menace, which is apparently a big deal.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Yuzuki escapes in all that action, so they return to Kenta's house, where we repeat the cycle of magical angels camping out in his backyard like homeless models before lovingly displaying their severely lacking knowledge of the existence and function of basic door locks. They offer to make him breakfast again, and I genuinely love how there are so many different choices to say no that it goes off the screen. No. Sayaka's next attempt to make Kenta enjoy the forced totalitarian oversight he's been forced into like he was a Canadian truck driver is to bring him to the beach, and holy shit, the background actually moves. You know your standards are incredibly low when basic movement in a video game impresses you. You know what else is impressive? This!
Nice.
Much to the chagrin of all the people playing this game one-handed, the fun in the sun is cut short by another shadow, making it the one and only time someone has been upset to see shade on a hot-as-balls day at the beach. Hikari manages to destroy the slime monster with a magic blast, but as we learned in Sakura Spirit, magic slime is the world's most powerful acid on clothes alone, so now it's Hikari's turn to have her outfit ruined. Though for some reason she doesn't immediately magically repair it like Sayaka did. They return to Kenta's house and the cycle is finally broken as his bathroom is mercifully unoccupied. But since this is a give and take world, it has been replaced with an oppressively rainy day. Man, the rain is really coming down hard. I mean, just look at that. How are they even outside? And it paints the perfect backdrop for Yuzuki and Kenta to finally have a face-off in her school form, where she reveals that she got her evil powers after years of being neglected, forgotten, and ignored by literally every single person she has ever seen, which is fair. Also, yeah, it doesn't paint the perfect backdrop for the scene at all. In fact, it ruins the scene because the developers don't have enough faith in their story to tell any important part of it without boobs! She then basically tells Kenta not to come to school tomorrow, a phrase always followed by good things. Back home, Kenta finally decides to stop being a fucking pussy and demands answers from Sayaka and Hikari by taking the fight to them in their tent, which goes as well as you'd expect. Give and take world and all that. After Kenta recovers from the KO punch he took to his whole face bone, they finally explain what's going on. Long ago, an all-powerful mage was sealed away by one of Kenta's ancestors, and the seal can only be broken when it comes into contact with his blood or the blood of a descendant that has his latent magic abilities. Obviously, Kenta is that ancestor, and this all-powerful mage centered all the power of hers that leaked out of the weakening seal into Yuzuki. So Kenta has to strengthen the seal before it weakens enough for the mage to get out, or Yuzuki and the shadows use his blood to open it. Since this isn't a road trip anime and the developers wanted to save money, the seal just so happens to be in a cave right outside of town, though their arrival is interrupted by Yuzuki and they fight. Both Hikari and Sayaka serve as distractions while Kenta does his magic, and this is where the path fully splits into the 3 different endings depending on the choices you've made. If you didn't play favorites, you get the neutral ending where Kenta, Hikari, Sayaka, and Yuzuki all become friends while the angel girls use their vacation days to stay around longer, all the while competing for Kenta's affections. If you favor Sayaka with your choices, everyone still becomes friends, but Sayaka wakes Kenta up in the morning and tries to snoop through his computer before learning from Kenta's master chefry like she won a reward in Hell's Kitchen.
I thought cold water was supposed to boil faster than hot water.
And if you favor Hikari, everyone becomes bestest friends forever, and Hikari wakes you up in the morning before being teased by Sayaka for being lovey-dovey. It's not much, but hey, at least you get to pick a waifu this time. Sorry for all you Yuzuki fans out there. I knew there was a reason I looked back on my time with this franchise fondly. This game is a huge step up from Sakura Spirit in every single possible regard, which is really the best you can get from a sequel. For starters, there's actually a fucking plot this time that regularly advances and is actually pretty interesting, if not a very simplified version of more intriguing and in-depth plots. And that plot is bolstered by the characters. While still clear archetypes, Sayaka and Hikari are leagues ahead of anyone from Sakura Spirit, thanks in no small part to the fact that they actually have definable personality traits beyond wants to smash. Speaking of the protagonist, Kenta also has a personality too, and actually acts like a fucking teenage boy would when surrounded by two attractive women fawning over him. However, the plot isn't perfect. It feels like it skips the second act and goes straight for the third, which feeds into the feeling that the developers didn't really know what they wanted this game to be. They created another easily digestible short visual novel filled with cute girls and fan service, though also tried to add in a deep story with a tragic villain and a magic system. And with both working against each other and neither done exceptionally well, it comes up short in its potential on both fronts. However, I still enjoyed the banter between all the characters, even if it did get a bit repetitive at times, and the art continued to be great. All the character art, and possibly the backgrounds too, I'm not sure, is done by a woman named Wanaka. I don't know if that's a pen name or her real name, but it's what it says on Twitter, and her art is the best part of these games regardless. And hey, if she's watching, she should definitely hit me up so I can pay her to make some art for me for, research purposes. Anyway, the final score for Sakura Angels is a 5 out of 10. It's a big step up from the quality of its predecessor with a good amount for fans of this style of game to enjoy, but there are plenty of other games out there that offer a lot more and do a lot better. For example, I recently played the game Arcade Spirits, and I highly recommend it to fans of these kinds of games. It's got a wide variety of dateable characters that all have their own unique, lovable, and surprisingly interesting personalities. My favorite is Naomi. I have a type, and I would do a full review of it, but it changes heavily depending on individual playthroughs, so I couldn't do it justice. Also, my sanity is fully depleted from the wide variety of vaguely defined St. Valentine's Day related games I covered this month, and I did all this for a holiday I don't even like. What's so special about doing something for your loved one on a day where society forces you to? You should do something for your significant other because you want to, not because it's that day of the year again. Also, it's St. Valentine's Day, the day of St. Valentine, but almost nobody includes the saint part. It would be like if people just started calling St. Patrick's Day just Patrick's Day. And nobody even knows the real story of St. Valentine. There were like 3 of them and they all get murdered. Can you tell just how much sanity I've lost? In fact, I think I know just the perfect place to check into. I hope to see you there.